What's up guys, Ruppy here, and it's time for week 2 of the Pokemon Trainer Grand Tournament. My team builder video has been taken care of, so now it's time to deal with Luis Salazar and his Dallas Starlys. I'm gonna go ahead and accept. So let's see what he brought to the Tans. And I kinda figured this. By the way, hope you like the new Showdown layout I've decided to go with. Trying to be a little more fancy and professional here. Let's see, he's got Mega Gardevoir, as I expected, Crocodile, Gastrodon, Entei, Chansey, and Mew. This does not surprise me in the slightest. Okay. So now, the question becomes, what do I think he's going to lead with? Let's go ahead and exchange those. Now, I have a feeling Mew is probably his most likely lead. It's the easiest lead I could expect him to go for. So, in that regard, I think I'm actually going to leave with Self High 5 to try to get some early initiative by smacking something with a Fake Out. And now for the fun of switching. Honestly, I've actually ordered one of those, what are they called? Multi-USB cord setup things. So many messages, so little time. Oh, Twitter. A Twitter DM group thing is how we communicate. So, yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, I've kind of decided I've got a, well, I'm going to get, well, I have already purchased, actually, if I can talk. It's been a long day. I've actually, yep, I figured he was going to lead with Mew. I've actually... move the mouse out of the way for now. Now can I talk? I've ordered one of those. It's like a 7 to 10, whatever it is, USB port setup, which should hopefully, honestly, it should be able to make this whole thing a lot easier. I can probably buy a second USB mouse too from there. He's even turned on the battle timer. Is that really necessary, dude? Whatever. So, I'm just going to go ahead and Fake Out right out of the gate. Get some nice damage off. And... so he's got leftovers. Good to know. So the Mew has leftovers. That is very valuable information to have, even though it's kind of... well, I figured Mew would probably carry leftovers. Now, here's an interesting question. Would he... a Will-O-Wisp seems very likely. This thing is not going to appreciate a knockoff, though. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and straight up knockoff. If he burns me with a Will-O-Wisp, that's fine, because I have Grace, and Heal Bell is a thing. So there go the leftovers. And he's going to knock off my Life Orb. Okay, that makes things a little more difficult now. So I am without my... so he's without his leftovers, I am without my Life Orb. So, is he not running a defog set then? I mean... I'm not exactly in the best position just because... well, I mean, I'm not even running hazards on my team. I'm actually gonna go for a return. Because from this range, even without my Life Orb, Self High 5 will knock this Mew out. Does he want to preserve it, or is he just going to sack it off here? Because I've already confirmed that Self High 5 outspeeds. Does he preserve young Tito here? Part of me feels like he's going to switch. I mean, all I've seen on this thing, so he's going to sack it off. Okay, so Ambipom kills Mew with return. So, Mew is not a factor anymore. So, not a bad start. Not a bad start at all. The problem for me is Self High Five is a viable... That was kind of a bad exchange for me in hindsight, because Self High Five took a lot more damage than I really wanted it to. Banded the Crocodile. Oh, really? How much you want to bet he's scarfed, considering he could be banded, but most banded crocodiles I see run Intimidate. And the fact that I saw no Intimidate shows me that he has Moxie. And yeah, he would not have brought... This thing is not banded in the slice. That name is misleading. He would not have brought this thing in unless it's scarfed. So, let's see exactly what he decides. Well, congratulations, you predicted my Togekiss. I'll give you that. However, as you can see, Grace does not care at all for your Stone Edges. That's valuable intel to have, but I'm just going to go ahead and roost off the damage as he's going to switch into Entei. Why am I not surprised? So are you a cowboy? Huh? I was going to go into the Justin Timberlake there, but yeah, I am not in the mood to sing outdated pop stars. Yes, I know. That sounds like a pretty bad burn, but I do not really care in the slightest. So, I know Grace can take any hit from this thing. I've EV'd it accordingly to make sure of that. I'm just gonna go ahead and T-Wave. And honestly, that battle timer's not necessary, dude. That's kind of a cheap tactic, if you ask me. Because I should be allowed to think however long I want on my moves. I'm not gonna take forever because I do not stall. But just because you got a forfeit win week 1 does not mean. So he goes for a straight up Flare Blitz and burns me. So, I've confirmed the Flare Blitz on Entei. And he does get the burn, which is unfortunate. That did about 58%, so with the spread, that actually should have done a lot more of this thing's banded, unless he's not running Adamant. But he'd have to be running Adamant for the event Entei if he's running Extreme Speed. He not packing E-Speed on this thing? I'm actually going to go ahead and Roost, because, well, he's definitely choice in some way if he keeps going for Flare Blitz. So, now the question becomes, if he is not well, that's at 63%, that's a little more like it. So the question becomes, as I really need a better setup with this, I know I do. The question becomes, with him locked into Flare Blitz, that does way too much to Victini. Do I just... I mean, I'd hate for... You know, I'm just gonna go for the Air Slash. I might get the Paraflinch, I might not, we'll see. But either way, Grace is not gonna be lasting a whole lot longer anyway. And I do get the Paraflinch. Not my intent, I'm actually just trying to will this thing down. Although a second Air Slash will actually take this thing out, and I see he realizes that. Hello, Chansey! Now, I'm going to Roost, actually. As he Heal Bells away the Paralysis. Which is fine. Because I'm going to go ahead and Heal Bell away this stupid burn. Because it's starting to become a pain on Grace's HP. There's the Seismic Toss. And I'm going to Roost up again. This... Go ahead and team with me. I've already revealed... Okay. This thing really... Now here's an interesting question. Would he just Seismic Toss or would he predict me to switch? Because honestly, this is a perfect opportunity to bring Fallen Angel in, and I can proceed to basically get a Swords Dance up and start laying waste to his team. How real is he? Considering Grace is still at a good amount of health, and like I said, I do have access to the Heal Bell, I'm going to take the risk. If he Seismic Tosses, that is perfectly fine with me, actually. Of course, the custom game option just puts us both straight into our megas. I kind of disagree with that, because it kind of defeats the whole purpose, but... Well, I'm gonna Swords Dance up, and this is probably the part where he realizes how badly he screwed up. Because other than Seismic Tossing me again, I do not think Chansey can touch this Mega Absol. I do not think so. I mean, Seismic Tosses are gonna hurt. I do have Superpower, though. And a +2 Superpower will take this thing out. I think this is the part where he realizes mistakes have been made. Because Fallen Angel's just sitting in here pretty right now. I'm basically guaranteed a Swords Dance. This thing, it can't Thunder Wave me because of Magic Bounce. If he's... See, he's revealed Heal Bell, Seismic Toss, and T-Wave on this thing. I'm just gonna make note of that, even though... It's kind of a relatively common Chansey set, but... So, he's thinking long and hard here. I think he's probably realized at this point mistakes have been made. Because there is literally nothing stopping me from Swords Dancing right now. And as I said, one Superpower and no more Chansey. Even... Superpower basically just gives the middle finger to this thing's Eviolite. See, this is the downside to Chansey in the draft format, ladies and gentlemen. It is a very valuable wall. It is a very big pain in the ass to take down no matter what format you're playing. The trade-off, however, it is very easy setup fodder. There's my Swords Dance. He stays in. I don't know if he forgot about Magic Bounce or if he was praying I was gonna switch, but honestly, now that I think about it, Superpower's gonna drop my stats. I'm just gonna go ahead and knock off, actually. Get rid of this thing's Eviolite. He ends up fully paralyzed. I apologize for that, but honestly, a Seismic Toss wasn't gonna do anything to me anyway. And... bye, Chansey. So, Mega Absol kills Chansey with knockoff. So, the clearly not banded Crocodile has come back to play. I want to double check really quick. Because a Scarf Crocodile... A Sucker Punch does not knock this thing out. I would have to Superpower. So... But clearly this thing is Scarf and I know it's going to take me out. I'm actually just going to go into Grace. It's not worth risking Fallen Angel. Because Fallen Angel still has value to me. Because I can still fire off Sucker Punches at things. They may not be as powerful without the +2, but they will still hit things. And I'm going to go ahead and heal Bell's Paralysis away. I know he's going to switch because I know he's Scarfed. Hello, Gastrodon. Nice to see you've come out to play. What to do about you? I'm just gonna Air Slash right now, see what happens. He's going to Ice Beam, which is not gonna do anything, really. So, this is... okay. So, you have Ice Beam, and you... Did I see? Yes, I did see leftovers on this thing. I'm going to go ahead and remove Chansey's information because that thing has long since left the building. Now I'll just go ahead and Air Slash again. Honestly, this comes down to a game of do I get freezes or not, because I know exactly how this is going to play out. We're just going to end up Recover Stalling each other at some point. Really? I'm going to go into Vini Vidi Vici. I'm going to take a risk here. Because I figured the Recover was coming. And if I calc this correctly, which I think I've ran this calc a number of times. No matter how defensive this thing is, it's not living a Life Orb Energy Ball with the EV spread I'm running on this thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and click Energy Ball. Let's see if he solves the puzzle. Because he's probably confused as to why I switched in Victini on a water ground type. So that alone should be a red flag that I've got something for this thing. In that case, it's kind of a blatant play, but he can't switch in Crocodile. Crocodile's not going to appreciate an Energy Ball. He's going to go into Entei, which takes the Energy Ball, but not as well as I thought it would from that range. Actually, you know what? Well, no, I've already revealed my Life Orb. I'm going to Bold Strike, actually. Okay. So, 2 scenarios as Victini goes down. Okay. Entei kills Victini with Stone Edge. Either that was a speed tie, or this thing is not banded, he is actually running Scarf Entei. I've already confirmed this thing is choice in some way. Those are the only 2 scenarios. I'm going to go into Self High 5. Because, honestly, a Fake Out takes this thing out and he knows it. A Fake Out will take this thing out. Does he preserve... I don't have rocks. He might think I do just because I've still got Donphan sitting there. But Grace can take this thing out at this point because, again, I'm EV to live any hit from this Entei. Crocodile's not going to appreciate a Fake Out, even without my Life Orb, because we're still dealing with Stab, Technician, and Max Attack. Mega Gardevoir's not going to enjoy it either. It's just a matter of, does he sack the Entei off? Or, because this thing still can pose a problem to my team, especially if he is running a Scarf set. But at this point, I think my way to win this game is basically to whittle him down to just that Gastron. He's just going to let Entei go down, so... Ambipom kills Entei with Fake Out. So Entei's off the board. And this thing comes back in. So I know this thing is Scarfed. I know it is. And in that regard... let me double check something real quick. Because I want to make sure of this before I make this play. Scarf Crocodile. Yeah, I think I'm going to make that play. I'm going to go on a Tough Tusk now. Because Tough Tusk can take anything from this thing. He could Earthquake, but I think he's going to Stone Edge, honestly. Predicting the very obvious Togekiss switch. Alternatively, he could Pursuit me, which in that case I would probably lose Ambipom, but then he's locked in a Pursuit, and Donphan even still does not care for Pursuit even if he gets a Moxie boost. Just because I've got a fair amount of HP investment, and Donphan is just naturally physically bulky. So, the Togekiss switch is very obvious. That's not the play I'm making, but it's a very obvious switch. And that timer's kind of coming back to bite you in the ass, dude. You might want to think about that one. I don't even know why you tried to enforce it in the first place. Because honestly, at this point, if the timer runs out, I win. He's thinking pretty hard on this one. I mean, it is kind of a crucial play because it's a very easy misplay to make here if he gets this prediction wrong, because then I end up in a very good position. Considering I've done it every other time on this thing, the Togekiss switch is extremely obvious. However, as I stated before, Donphan can easily take anything he throws at me. So he goes for a Crunch, which I know Tough Tusk is going to be able to take. And I'm actually gonna knock off. Because getting rid of the thing's scarf would actually be very beneficial to me. Because now I can confirm without a doubt that this thing does not outspeed me in any way, shape, or form. And now I'm just going to proceed to Earthquake. Granted, he's now free to switch up moves, and Tough Tuss is going to live that Earthquake, fire off an Earthquake of its own. Is it worth it? I'm just going to sack Tough Tuss off. So, Crocodile kills Donphan with Earthquake. I mean, and he does have the attack boost now. However, Self High Five is still a thing. As is Fake Out. And I know with absolute certainty this thing cannot outspeed me anymore. Not to mention a Fake Out well, anything I could do takes it out at this point, really. So, there we go. Ambipom kills Crocodile with Fake Out. You are a thing now. Okay. So, Ambipom picked up 3 kills in this game, which was actually really good. I mean, it's a lot better than I thought it would do, but this is Ambipom we're talking about. Ambipom. Now, what is Gardevoir going to do to me? What is my option here? Because I am without my Life Orb. However, by the looks of things, even without my Life Orb, a return is going to hurt this thing. And I know it doesn't outspeed me, so I'm just going to go straight for the return. Do a ton of damage, as Self High Five kind of does what I actually needed it to. So, Mega Gardevoir kills Ambipom with Hyper Voice. However, now I have a number of options, because Fallen Angel outspeeds... Actually, now it becomes a question of what do I want to basically clean up here, because this game is, for all intents and purposes, done. Fallen Angel wraps things up here. I know this thing does not outspeed, and Gastrodon doesn't really want to fight with Fallen Angel. Grace actually can't really take hits. I'm gonna go into Fallen Angel because I don't want to go into Water Slide and risk locking myself. I'm just gonna go for the knockoff because, again, I know I outspeed. Mega Gardevoir. Gardevoir in general does not get any form of priority. This game is pretty much over. So, Mega Absol kills Mega Gardevoir with knockoff. And I'm just gonna go ahead and knock off this thing too, as he goes ahead and Earth Powers me. Okay, I'm playing for differential here. So I'm actually going to switch Fallen Angel out. I want to preserve my differential. So I'm going to go into Grace, as he just goes for a safe Scald. I'm going to Roost Up, actually, as he goes ahead and recovers up. I want to double check before I make this move, because I know how I end this game. It's just a matter of... Okay, yeah, Earth Power is not going to do a whole lot to me. So, I'm going to go ahead and make the switch into Water Slide now to wrap things up here. I'm actually surprised I did... Let's see, his only hope there was kind of a freeze, but I still have Grace around with Heal Bell, so I'm going to go ahead and click HP Grass with Specs, and that is game! So, ladies and gentlemen, my Columbus Swoo have now moved on to 2-0 in the Pokemon Trainer Grand Tournament. Not a bad start, if I do say so myself. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make sure I upload and share the replay so I can have that handy for later. Now, I'm going to make my final kill log here. Keldeo kills Gastrodon with HP Grass. So, good game, Lewis. That was a very challenging match, and I was actually quite terrified at moments there. Once, because I kind of lost control of the situation a little bit at times. But all in all, taking the risk of approaching this game with a more offensive-oriented viewpoint actually paid off. Granted, he also brought a couple things. I mean, I sort of thought he might bring a few other things as well, but he brought a really threatening team, and my Swoo were able to weather the storm. So, with all that said and done, thank you guys very much for watching. I have been Ruppy, and I will see you guys next time when my Columbus Swoo enter Week 3, looking to see if our undefeated record will remain intact. Take care.